All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. My signal's a little low today, it looks like. Let me say what's up to everybody. Bank Hayes in the building. What's good on? What's going on, man? Ray Patterson in the building. Good morning. Andy Gill. Good morning. David Howard. Good morning, sir. Bank Hayes in the building. Denali Smith. What's going on? Nuke the Duke. What's good? Yeah, man. Oh, man. Let's talk this boxing. We'll wait till some people come in the building. What's up, David Howard? David Howard said good morning on X. That's what's up, man. Shout out to X. I'm gonna let X on the chat today. So I'm I opened up the chat to X today. Hopefully, Rollo and Here for Boxing won't act buffoons, so I don't have to cut you off on Twitter. You know what I mean? What's going on, Christopher Mitchell? What's going on? Hey, if you're on Twitter, put a comment in the comment section, man. Say what's up to me, man. We're gonna have some good conversations today. The title of the video is Gervonta Davis cannot win Lamont Roach fight. I guarantee you, he could knock out Lamont Roach cold and he'll still lose that fight. They're not going to allow Gervonta Davis to get any positive momentum regardless of what happens in that fight. And I want to talk about whether or not fighters should stop listening to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because I think that people, what's going on, sir? Gianni Legion in the building over there on X. What's up, man? Let me put the X comments up. What's up, brother? How you feeling, man? Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Ray Smith, good morning, Fanon, and the entire chat. I truly appreciate the boxing talk. Well, we're going to start off with a different conversation today. Because, hey, man, I don't want it to seem like I got any beef with anybody that you already know I don't like. If I don't like the person, I've already told you I don't like the person. Other than those people that I've already told you I don't like, I got nothing but love for everybody else. That said, some of y'all don't know shit about boxing. Really, truly. You don't know shit about boxing, and you're talking about boxing like you know what you're talking about. And it's hilarious to me, man. Boxing is such a multifaceted sport. So multifaceted. You have the political stuff that goes on outside the ring. You've got the technical stuff that goes on inside the ring, and then you've got the whole historical aspect of the sport. So I won't say the name, but there was somebody that said that talked about Terence Crawford and said that many people don't want to put Terence Crawford in their top 5 all time if he beats Canelo. But they said, but we're going to have, if he beats Canelo, we have to have a serious conversation about that. No fucking way. Let me get this out and say this because I want to do this. This shit is fun. There's no way on planet Earth Terence Crawford is a top 5 all-time fighter. No fucking way, bro. No way, shape, form, fashion. Hell no. You see my yeah, I saw your response to it. Let me tell you, bro, ain't no fucking way. All right. I'm going to name for you 5 fighters that Terence Crawford has absolutely no chance whatsoever of passing. He's not passing Jack Johnson. Sorry. He's not passing Jack Johnson. He's not passing Sam Langford. He's not doing it. He's not passing Muhammad Ali. He's not passing Joe Louis. He's not passing Sugar Ray Robinson. He's not passing Harry Greb, and he's not passing Henry Armstrong. That's 7 right there. There's 7 people I'm naming, bro, that Terence Crawford is so far away from. So far away from. Sugar Ray Robinson. He's nowhere near Sugar Ray Robinson. He's not Floyd Mayweather. Quiet as kept, he's not there with Manny Pacquiao. Like, I could go on and on and on about the people whose resumes are better than Terence Crawford's, and to get past 5 is easy. And that's with the Canelo Alvarez win. That's with the Canelo Alvarez win. Because Canelo Alvarez isn't a 168-pounder, and Terence Crawford actually looks like he's bigger than him. So, nah, bro. I mean, Mike, he's not passing Ray Leonard. Hell no, he's not passing Sugar Ray Leonard. He's not passing Tommy Hearns. Dude, Tommy Hearns knocked out Roberto Duran. He's not passing Roberto Duran. Like, seriously, man. You know what somebody told me, which I thought was really, really great advice. Boxing, my guy, Retro Boxing and Documentary said this. He's like, almost nobody on the internet is qualified to talk about who the all-time great fighters are, because most people don't know who they are. If I ask you to really give me a question about Willie Pep, like where do you think Willie Pep rests with Vasily Lomachenko? How many of y'all know who Willie Pep is? And how many of you have actually seen Willie Pep fight? Most people have never heard of Willie Pep. But yet we are supposed to act like Terence Crawford's above Willie Pep, but you can't tell me who Willie Pep is? You see what I'm saying? I will do that to anybody, bro, because I don't do all-time lists. The reason that I don't have an all-time list is because I know that I'm not qualified to tell you who the greatest fighter of all time is. I can't tell you that, but it damn sure ain't no fucking middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko never won a round without throwing a punch. I'm telling you, like, you can't tell me that you know these fighters. You don't know who the fighters are. How can, like, if I asked you, it's this simple. If I said, okay, you want to tell me who your top 5 all time are, don't worry. Let's not do that first. Let's do something else first. Give me your top 5 fighters of the 1930s. Give me the top 5 fighters of the 1930s. And then give me the top 5 fighters of the 1940s, the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2020. But guess what you got to do? You got to go all the way back to 1890. You got to go to 1890s. You got to go 1900s, 1910s, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2020. You would have to be able to give me the top 5 fighters in all of those particular decades for me to believe that you have a legitimate opinion about who the top 5 all time are. And guess what? There are people that can do it. There are people that can do it. What's my guy's name? I ain't seen him in a minute, man. He used to come by the channel all the time out of Great Britain. What's my guy's name, bro? That dude, Echo. Echo could do that. I haven't seen Echo. Shout out to Echo. I ain't seen Echo in a minute. But Echo can do that. Echo could go through every single solitary decade and tell you every single solitary one of the fighters that were at the top of the sport during those decades. He can also tell you who they fought. He can tell you who the people he fought. So let's not try to confuse ourselves with boxing historians. Like, yeah, scrapbook boxing can do it. Boxing librarian can do it. There's very few people that can do that. So please, let's not use the history of boxing to pub ourselves up when we're not boxing historians, because you guys are not boxing historians. I'm not a boxing historian. And I know more boxing history than 99% of people. And I still don't consider myself to be a boxing historian. So, man, come on, bro. Let's put some draws on that shit, because there's too many fighters that are out there, bro. I'm going to tell you, honestly, I don't think there's a question for me about whether or not Terence Crawford passed up Oscar De La Hoya. I mean, for real, Terence Crawford did not fight the fighters that Oscar De La Hoya fought. Didn't do it. So my question is, how in the world are you? Please justify putting him over Oscar De La Hoya. And you can't say, and do me a favor, don't talk to me about nobody's undisputed, because almost every champion before the year 1980 was an undisputed champion. Almost all of them were undisputed champions. The only champion in their division. Roberto Duran was an undisputed champion. Ali was an undisputed champion. And he was a multiple-time undisputed champion. He was a 3-time undisputed champion. 3-time undisputed champion. Terence Crawford's not a 3-time undisputed champion. Ali's a 3-time undisputed champion in 2 different decades. If you're not a boxing historian, for real, don't play one on TV. I'm telling you, you're going to get caught up in a conversation with somebody that you can't have a conversation with. No joke. I couldn't imagine having a conversation with Brad Goodman about who the greatest fighters of all time were. And me trying to have because sorry, man, I spilled my water. Oh shit, definitely don't want it in there. Hold on 1 second. Run out of power. Hold on 1 second. Man, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. All right, sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. My power cord was out. Shout out to Baltimore, Maryland. Teach hard, brother. Mike Tyson knows a lot about boxing history, as quiet as kept, without a doubt. But Mike Tyson is a great boxing historian. Teddy Atlas is a great boxing historian, obviously. King Terence Bud Crawford is the final Messiah. Okay, if you say so. What's up, Frank Franklin? How you feeling? But no, I really want to do that, man, because I wanted to talk about that because I think we should all stay in our lane. You know what I mean? Like stay in the lane, man. Like for real, you got to read books and books and books and books to be having conversations about who the top 5 top fighters of all time are. No joke, bro. You got to be a boxing historian beyond. It's not like the NBA. In the NBA, you can kind of do it. You know what I mean? Because you kind of know who the feet. Because there's not as many basketball players as there are boxers, and basketball's not been around as long as boxing has. What's up, Lee Jackson? Phenomenal show. What up, man? Phenomenal Noob says, you're right, Noob. Issue is there's no nuance when people have these discussions. Don't talk to me about accomplishments without telling me who they beat. He's nowhere near top 10, in my opinion. Top 5, no, he's not. He's lucky to get in top 20. I mean, seriously, if he's top 20, that's something really big. Because, yeah, I would say top 20. He could be in the top 20 just off the cuff in the top 20, but I'm not putting him over Roy Jones. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not putting him over Roy Jones. I don't think he's a better fighter than Roy Jones was. And I put him right there with Bernard Hopkins. So, like, wherever Bernard Hopkins is, put Terence Crawford right by Bernard Hopkins. Because you can't tell me that he had a better career than Bernard Hopkins did, or a better or longer career than Bernard Hopkins had. You know? So Bernard Hopkins, for me, is right there with For me, I'd put Terence Crawford near Bernard Hopkins. I put him near Oscar De La Hoya, Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah, maybe I think he's like a step up from Juan Manuel Marquez. Like a step up from Juan Manuel Marquez, right near Bernard Hopkins. Right near, he's around Bernard Hopkins. I'll put him around Bernard Hopkins. You know, but I'm not putting him over Andre Ward. I don't put him over, I don't put him, somewhere around Andre Ward. School said, would this conversation be opinion-based? Obviously, it's opinion-based. But here's the thing about your opinion. You have to know the facts to give me your opinion about the facts. You have to know the facts in order to have an opinion about the facts. So I'm telling you, you will not be able to have a coherent conversation with somebody that really knows boxing in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. Jersey Joe Walcott. Like, why would I think that Terence Crawford is a better fighter than Jersey Joe Walcott? Have you ever seen Jersey Joe Walcott fight? Why is Terence Crawford a better fighter than Rocky Marciano? Isn't Rocky Marciano undefeated heavyweight champion? Why is he better than Rocky Marciano? I definitely don't see why he's better than Joe Louis. I don't. I see him right. Like, why is he better than Sonny Liston? He doesn't look much better to me than Sonny Liston. I see Sonny Liston fight. Sonny can fight, bro. Hey, Clutch Media, what up, man? Floyd said Tank can't win the rematch. No, I didn't say that. I'm telling you that Floyd, I'm not saying Floyd can't. I'm not saying that Floyd said that. No. I'm telling you that Gervonta Davis will not be able to win that ring match no matter what. If he knocks out Lamont Roach in the first round, it's going to be because Lamont Roach was a bum. He should have done it before. If Gervonta Davis goes the distance, they're going to say he went the distance twice with a bum. Lamont Roach is a bum. And then they're going to do exactly what Deem said they're going to do, which is then turn around and try to fight Lamont Roach. They're going to call Lamont Roach a bum if Gervonta Davis goes the distance. They're going to call Gervonta Davis a bum if Gervonta goes the distance and loses. If Gervonta Davis knocks him out, then he's going to be a bum because he knocked him out. I just want to get all the narratives for Gervonta Davis out of the way before we get to the fight, because I want to be the one to be able to tell you, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. It's like they following a blueprint or something. Yeah, it's what it's going to be. There's no demand for the fight. They're going to start, watch this shit. In about 3 weeks, there's going to say there's no demand for the fight. Watch when they put the video out that says no demand for this fight. Do you know what fight I've heard no demand for? I've heard zero demand for Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. None. I see a lot of press, and I see you guys in big rooms that look fancy. I see you guys sitting there in big fancy rooms with big cameras that give you nice, really, really nice pictures. You know what I mean? I can see that you pay a lot of money for your graphics. But at the same time, bro, there's no demand for this fight. Nobody is sitting there asking, why hasn't Terence Crawford fought Canelo Alvarez yet? Can anybody put in the chat the only fight that has been demanded of Canelo Alvarez? There's only one fight that's been demanded of Canelo Alvarez, and that's the one fight that they will not give you. OG told me, said, I said the same thing, and people said I'm tripping. We wanted Canelo Benavidez. Yeah, there's no demand for the fight because this is not a fight where people are like, oh, man, they're on a collision course, right? No, there was no collision course between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is just up there trying to take a cherry pick on a little dude. And if he wins, and guess what? Canelo Alvarez already lost to Floyd. And he lost to Bivol. So I don't get why. And people said he lost to Lara and he lost to Trout. But yet this guy that makes Terence is going to be one of the top 5. Who are you going to move? I'm interested to know. Who are y'all going to move out of this list? That's what I want to know. Who are y'all going to move out of this list? Of the top, who's going to move out of that top 5? Is it going to be he's going to move past Joe Louis with 25 title defenses at heavyweight? I think not. He's going to pass Muhammad Ali, a 3-time heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, with 2 of the biggest upset wins in the history of boxing and the biggest name in the history of the sport? No. Who's he going to remove? Floyd Mayweather Jr., who was undefeated at 50-0, is beat Manny Pacquiao, beat Canelo Alvarez, beat Juan Manuel Marquez. You're going to pass him? I don't think so. You're going to pass Henry Armstrong, who won the 135-pound title, who won the 126, 135, and 147-pound titles all in the same year and got robbed for a middleweight title? Somebody who, Naj from Cigar Talk, he says Bud over Joe Louis. Look, man. Joe Louis had 25 successful heavyweight title defenses. 25 of them. He won the heavy. He had more heavyweight title defenses than some people have fights. No way, bro. No, Joe Louis, it's Joe Louis, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Joe Louis was the number one guy in boxing from 1930 to 1950. He literally dominated 2 entire decades of the sport. The 1930s. When did he fight? The 36 Olympics? Well, he's 1930s and 1940s. He's the 1930s, 1940s into the early 1950s. There's no, that's, you know what that's like saying? Basically, he was the Floyd Mayweather. He was bigger than Floyd Mayweather. So it ain't no way. That's just over Joe Louis. Joe Louis. I think that's a disrespect of the history of the sport, because there's no way that Terence Crawford is on par with Joe Louis. There's no way. He is so far from Joe Louis, it's not even funny. Joe Louis, let me repeat, Joe Louis had 25 heavyweight title defenses. 25. Beat all comers. 25. No, bro. No. And by the way, boxing had a lot more competition when Joe Louis was fighting. So no way, buddy. Phoenix Assassin said Julian Hawk Jackson, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray, Hagar. I forgot about Julio Cesar Chavez, Oscar De La Hoya, and Hector Camacho. I wouldn't say Hector Camacho. Robert, honestly, Fanon, just my thoughts, 67. I love Crawford as a fighter. And I am no means hating on Crawford, but he wouldn't be in my top 20. It's just my opinion, Fanon. Look, to say somebody is a top 20 all-time great boxer is a huge compliment to that person. That's not an insult at all. If you told me that I was one of your top 5 people in the world, I would think that was a pretty big compliment, because I suspect I'm up there with your mother, I have to be up there with your mother, your father, your wife, and some of your kids. So if you put me top 5, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a world where if you're not, they think, you know, that Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights, they said, if you're not first, you're last. That's not true. If just because you're not first doesn't mean that that's an insult. It's not an insult to Terence Crawford to say that you're not Joe Louis, man. It's fucking Joe Louis, nigga. You know who Joe Louis is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know who Joe Louis is. You must have just, whoever said that must have just pulled that name out. Because G's better than Joe Louis? In what way? Like, in what way? No chance, bro. No chance. Tim Carey says, Devin Haney, Devin Haney, Devin Haney. Shout out to Devin Haney, Devin Haney, Devin Haney. Thank you, Tim Carey. Tim the guy said, what good, fam? I'm chilling, man. Just grinding on these YouTube streets, bro. Grinding on these YouTube streets, bro. These dudes with these BS fights, bro. The problem in boxing is there's a bunch of names fighting each other, but none of these fights have been built up to being something that you want to see. Anthony Joshua's the only really anticipated fight of Anthony Joshua's career. Anthony Joshua never had. Kamal Oz said, is Samson Liskowicz the most underrated and underappreciated promoter? He's very underappreciated. Discovered Pacquiao before he arrived in America. I thought that was the other dude. I thought that was Murat Muhammad. No, Samson Liskowicz didn't get Manny. That was Murat Muhammad. Worked with Sergio Martinez, did right by De Los Santos versus Davis and Guys Benavidez. Yeah, he's a great promoter, but I do think that it was Murat Muhammad that Manny Pacquiao was with, and not Samson Liskowicz. Because they cut I don't know, they probably didn't cut Murat Muhammad out. They probably bought him out, but still, I believe it was Murat Muhammad. The YouTube streets is crazy. Yeah, it is. Keys to the game, boxing. What up, man? Says salute to the entire FIBC. Lewis had 69 fights, lost 3. Those three are all Hall of Famers. They're tripping. Yeah, that just tells you shouldn't be talking about boxing history. Really. You're just trying to, I mean, for the moment, cool. But trust me, we'll see whether or not Terence Crawford is going to be an all-time great when people talk and see if people talk about Terence Crawford in 20 years. I personally don't think he's up there with Tommy Hearns. Personally, I think Tommy Hearns is a better fighter than Terence Crawford, and I think Tommy Hearns had a great career and had better fights, fought better fighters than Terence Crawford did. With Iran Barkley, Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I believe he beat Wilfredo Benitez as well. Like, nah, man, he really did his thing, bro. Like, Tommy Hearns really did his thing. So I don't really get what's up, my Most High Retros. Like, I don't even get why you would put Terence Crawford over Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns was in memorable fights, bro. A bunch of memorable fights that were wars, bro. He was in the two Sugar Ray Leonard fights, both of which I thought he won because I thought one was a bad stoppage. He beat the piss out of Duran. Phenomenal Noob said, example, beat a compromised arrow. I don't care what people say exactly. To win all 4 belts, didn't go through no gauntlet ever. That matters to me. Can't pull the wool over my eyes with accomplishments, nuance. Well, look, the funny thing is, let me talk about accomplishments because accomplishments are really funny. And I've been trying to find a way to like talk about it in a way that's coherent. But anything that you do is an accomplishment. Anything that you do is an accomplishment. If I walk to the door and I open the door and I walk out and I shut it, I accomplished that. Is that an accomplishment that is worthy of any note? Is it a noteworthy accomplishment? Is it a noteworthy accomplishment? They didn't give a shit about Undisputed because of the alphabets, because they know it was political. The Undisputed, to get 4 belts just means that you made good business moves. It doesn't necessarily mean you're the best fighter. Look at Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis is the best fighter at 147. Do you think he's going to ever get an opportunity to be undisputed? Probably not. Gervonta Davis is the best fighter at 135. Do you think he's ever going to get an opportunity to be undisputed? Probably not. And it's not going to have anything to do with whether or not he wanted it or not. It's going to have everything to do with the politics of the sanctioning bodies and the politics of the promoters and the managers of the other fighters. So no, bro. It just because, and they always make basketball is the worst. Have you ever listened to like a basketball game and they just come up with some record? They'll be like, this is the first, Steph Curry is the first person to ever go 5 for 7 in threes in the second quarter of the game 3 of the NBA Finals. I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? Oh, our statisticians say that Steph Curry is the first person to ever go 5 for 7 in the second quarter of game 3 of the NBA Finals. You know what I mean? And it's like, was anybody ever trying to wreck? They act like that was a goal somebody was going for. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, I was really trying to go 5 for 7 in that quarter, but I couldn't make it. No, what they do is they just look at something that you do, label it an accomplishment, and then act like you're the first person to do it. Even though nobody was ever trying to do it before. If they said you cannot be a great all-time fighter unless you have all 4 belts, dude, Floyd Mayweather Jr. would have got all 4 belts. He would have, if I got to get all this to get money, let me get all 4 belts. But if he didn't care about it because he's the best fighter in the division, and you've got somebody like, just say Saddam Ali, you got Saddam Ali who owes the WBO, he owes the other 3, but you're telling me that he didn't accomplish the same thing as Terence because he didn't fight Saddam Ali? No, you guys are making up accomplishments. You look at what somebody does, then you label it an accomplishment. Instead of this, name an accomplishment and have people try to achieve it. And then see if you can achieve something that we named. Okay? but not something that is totally arbitrary. Like, will you be able to get all the contracts in place to get undisputed? The only reason Devin Haney was undisputed is because he went to Bob Arum. Devin Haney would have never been undisputed if he would have stayed with Eddie Hearn. It would have never happened because Eddie Hearn wasn't going to pay for the fight. So he had a contract. He was fortunate, and he was able to pick up those belts. If Gervonta Davis was in the same position, he would have been able to pick up the belts. So yeah, they just make up accomplishments, man. You guys make up accomplishments. You start by just saying, "Ooh, what did I do today?" Oh, I'm the first person today to get 6 super chats and have 365 people in my live stream at 30 minutes and 36 seconds of my live stream. Like, you can cut up anything to make it an accomplishment, man. In my opinion, you should only be able to be labeled undisputed if you win the belts one by one. I mean, honestly, that's about right. Because you got 3 of them in one fight. The other guy picked up the 3, and you were the last one standing. So he ran the gauntlet, and you were the last one. Terence Crawford ain't slick. We know what Terence did. Haney is the weakest undisputed capture ever. No, Teofimo Lopez is the weakest. Because at least Devin defended undisputed. No, did he? Yeah, he defended it against Lomachenko. But Teofimo Lopez is probably the weakest undisputed fighter. And I don't care what y'all say, Teofimo Lopez was undisputed, and shame on y'all for stealing that jackass's accomplishment. See how quick they stole his accomplishment? It's that doesn't count because it's the WBC franchise belt. Doesn't count. Doesn't count to who? It doesn't count to me. Totally fucking arbitrary, bro. Exactly. How in the hell is that the same that Errol did? No, Errol had to beat 3 champions. Errol had to beat 3 champions to get there. Terence Crawford had to beat 2. He had to beat 2. Devin, the first at 26 to win an ass whooping. Exactly. The first dude to shit himself when he got punched upside the head in the year 2024. He said they just be making shit up, man. This shit is it's so annoying, bro. Because then they'll say Ali never did that. You know what Ali did that Terence Crawford has never done? I'm gonna name something that that Ali did that Terence Crawford never did. That eliminates Terence Crawford from being on his level. One simple thing. Terence Crawford has never fought 15 rounds. Terence Crawford has never fought 15 rounds. If you look at Ali, if Ali looked at a 12-round fight, he'd be thinking you guys were sissies. He'd be like, y'all some sissies. 12 rounds? You know what Ali could do in 12 rounds if there wasn't 15 rounds? You know what he could do in 12 rounds if it wasn't 15 rounds? If there wasn't 15 rounds? He could just move and bop for 12 rounds, bro. Anyway, Bud never fought 12 rounds. Bud never fought 15 rounds. So I will debate y'all on that. How can you say a man is greater than somebody and when he doesn't even fight the same fight? Bud Crawford never had to deal with a 15-round fight. And he, quite honestly, he's never fought the competition that Ali did. He never had to fight number one after number one after number one after number one after number one. Bud might have faced one mandatory. I think he faced one mandatory at 147, and he faced one mandatory at 140. Nuke the Duke said, what year did the 15-rounders start? It stopped in the 1980s, but I think there were 15-rounders all the way up until the 1990s. But they stopped for major television in the 1980s. They went in the mid-1980s. They went to 12 rounds from 15. I think it was a TV thing. They say it was something else. I believe it was a TV thing. The Cardenas in the building said, I hate talking about Bud and Canelo because facts doesn't come out. For now, okay, yeah, they went 15. Bud is a good fighter, but I give him top 5 fighters he fought. Yeah, it stopped in the 80s. Oh, I'm sorry, Kamal. No, I didn't. Kamal said, oh, I got that. Kamal said, B-Hop is greater than Bud. Win or lose against Canelo, without a doubt. without a doubt. But Bernard Hopkins is, I think Bernard Hopkins is probably one of the most underrated fighters ever. I mean, I can't say ever, but he's one of the most underrated super mega talent and mega stars of the time that I've been watching boxing. Bernard Hopkins is one of the most underrated. He's a killer, bro. He lost to Jermaine Taylor. But man, Jermaine Taylor was a really good fighter, man. He ruined Jermaine Taylor. Jermaine Taylor was undisputed. You remember Jermaine Taylor? Dog, look who Bud beat for that shit at 154. Cut the bullshit. Bud beat Ismail Madmarov and looked like shit. Bernard and Winky are Winky Wright is an incredibly underrated fighter, man. Man, I love Winky Wright as a fighter. The only guy I liked, man, there's some fighters that were really good that were just put in bad situations. If any of you guys remember the 154-pounder named Kasim Uma? Kasim Uma eventually fought Gennady Golovkin at middleweight, but Kasim Uma was an African fighter who fought at 154, but he was small for 154. Man, that dude could fight, man. A Kasim Uma could fight, bro. Like, just a natural fighter, man. Got kind of like an African Johnny Tapia. Yeah, man, Kasim Uma was nice, man. Kasim Uma never got a chance. Kasim Uma never got a chance to fight at 147. No joke, if Kasim Uma had looked like Ryan Garcia, they would have let that guy fight at 147, bro, and he would have been fighting for world championships. Azuma Nelson was like that, bro. There's a lot. Man, I'm telling you, bro. Madmarov only had 10 fights as well. Yeah, that's something there. Hold on one second. Nah, Bud ain't top 5, bro. I like the conversation, though, Najee. I like that you started the conversation because I know I'll say Najee, he's probably watching. Usually people watch me. So it's a good way to start a conversation. But it's a depth of conversation that is a little deeper than I think people realize. Because I don't know, man, like if you put Bud in the 1980s, dog, Bud has not beaten any of those guys, man. I don't see Bud beating Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. I don't see Bud beating Tommy Hearns. For sure ain't beating Tommy Hearns. He ain't beating Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And who's the other one? Duran? Oh, my God, bro. Him and Duran would be a fight, bro. Now, I would love to see him fight Duran. But Sugar Ray Leonard, though, he ain't no Sugar Ray Leonard, bro. I mean, I would love to see Bud beat Duran. I don't know if he's going to beat Duran, though. I don't know if he beats Duran. I don't know if he beats Duran. Really. I don't know. But I know he ain't beating Tommy. I know one dude he ain't beating, Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns is going to pop his ass with that jab and that right hand, that 1-2. He going to drop that 1-2 on that dude all day. You're not going to like that, bro. This is crazy talk. Are you serious? Who's got, put a 1 in the chat if you've got for real got Terence Crawford over Tommy Hearns. Please let me know. Please let me know. John the Beast Mugabe is 160. Beast Mugabe is 160. I'll take Bud over Beast Mugabe. I'll take Bud over Livingstone Bramble. I don't know. Bud and Aaron Pryor would be a great fight, bro. Bud could be right there with Aaron Pryor. He could be there right there with Aaron Pryor. He could be there with Aaron Pryor because I think his win over Terence Crawford's win over Gervonta. I mean over Errol. I mean it's similar to an Alexis Arguello. It's similar to Alexis Arguello, but I don't think Errol was healthy for that fight. Dean Fanon, is Bud better than Roy Jones in his prime? Hell no. No way. No, he was not. At his absolute best, no. I don't think so, but he's close. But no. I think I put Bud right there by Andre Ward. Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins. I think that's fair. Andre Ward and Bernard Hopkins. Somewhere around there. Pernell Whitaker, somewhere around Pernell. Actually, there you go. He's not better than Pernell. He's not better than Sweet Pea. I'm telling you right now. He is not better than Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker. So I forgot about Pernell. He ain't better than Pernell. Ain't no way. Now somebody tell me he's better than Pernell Whitaker. Somebody get out your mouth. Please get out your mouth that Bud Crawford is better than Pernell Whitaker. I would love to hear it. He's not better than Pernell Whitaker. And Pernell Whitaker is not top 5 all time. And he is not better than Pernell Whitaker. Give me Sweet Pea, bro. Sweet Pea only lost one fight, bro, for real. And that was to Tito. And that one, his ass was high as shit in that fight. Hey, thank you to everybody that supports in the Cash App, bro, and the Super Chat. Really, you guys are the way we're able to continue this channel because, you know, woo-wee, it's hard in these YouTube streets to make any dough on this YouTube. I feel so blessed to be one of the few that can do it. Is he better than Shane Mosley? Sugar Shane? Yeah, I think he's better than Shane Mosley. I'll put him above Shane Mosley. Yeah, absolutely, I put him above Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley at lightweight was a killer, though. But yeah, I would say I would take him over Shane. Higher than Shane, higher than Shane, right near Bernard, right near yeah, he's better than Zab Judah for sure. Definitely better than Zab Judah. Better than Corey, better than Corey Spinks, better than Tim Bradley, better than I don't know, is he better than Tito? I'll put him right there with Tito. He's right there with Tito Trinidad. So I think him and Tito Trinidad would be a very, very good fight. I might take him over Tito. JC Boxing Cowboys Network said, Facts Phenon is definitely hard on YouTube. I found my lane, though, for sure. Yeah. You know what? The tough thing on boxing about YouTube is all these niggas lying all day. Yeah, I think he's a little better. I think he's a little better than Oscar. I don't think he had a better career than Oscar. I think he may be a better fighter than Oscar, but I don't think he had a better career than Oscar. If that answers your question. I don't think he had a better career than Oscar, but I think he's as good a fighter as Oscar. I don't think he had as good a career. And I don't think he has the heart Oscar has. Oscar's willing to go in there and take chances. I don't think Terence Crawford wants to ever take a chance. The way that he set up that fight with Errol Spence Jr., that's just classic matchmaking, the way he did that, you know, and the way that he's going for Canelo, because Canelo doesn't look good. Has not looked good in several fights, bro. Oh, I think he's better than Wilfredo Benitez. Keys to the game, boxing. I think he's better. I think he's better than Wilfredo Benitez. But I have to be honest, I haven't seen enough of Wilfredo Benitez. For me to really speak well on him. Like, I have some blind spots like Terry Norris, guys like Michael Nunn. Who's the other guy from Dallas? You have Terry Norris, Meldrick Taylor. Michael Nunn. I'm not as good on those guys, but Michael Nunn is somebody that should probably be in the Hall of Fame. Michael Nunn eventually lost to James Toney. That's somebody else that's better than Bud. James Toney is better than Bud. I'm not putting, as a fighter, I think James Toney is a better fighter than Bud. Or is, at the very least, James Toney is as good as Bud. At the very least, he's as good as Bud. I think he's probably better, but at the very least, he's as good as Bud. At very least, he's as good as Bud. I think Bud is better than Julian Jackson, but again, I've not watched enough of the Hawk to really have a very, very educated opinion of that. Andy Gill said, Bud hasn't fought top fighters even to be mentioned with half these guys. He had issues beating Madrimov, which could have went either way. I mean, I think that's a fair criticism. I thought he won that fight. But coming off that Madrimov fight, thinking he's going to knock out Canelo, I don't see it. Why didn't Bud fight Danny Garcia? Well, Danny Garcia left the weight class before Bud got there, and they were on the other side of the street, you know? Donald Curry, that's who I was looking for, Cool Ash. Donald Curry. Donald Curry, and Michael Nunn. Abdul Shahid Raif Wahid said, in my opinion, James Toney is better than Crawford. I'm gonna put a link in the comment section in case y'all want to jump on. Big Block, what up, man? How you feeling today, man? What was I about to? Oh, let me get this. Man, thank you for the support in the Cash App. So y'all can jump on now, man, if y'all got, man, Joe Calzaghe was nice, bro. Joe Calzaghe is kind of like you don't really know about Joe Calzaghe. Much love in the Cash App. Thank you. Where's this at? Deem in the building. What up, Deem, by any means?
For now, what's up, big dog? What's going on, man?
Chilling, brother. Just talking this boxing this fine Monday morning or fine day.
I'm so happy that you came across that tweet this morning and that we talking about it because I just thought it was insane. First of all, I'm about to say something that's about to be controversial. Canelo don't even think that Bud is better than David Benavidez. So don't get mad at me for thinking Bud's not better than David Benavidez. Clearly, Canelo agrees with me. Okay? David Benavidez said he wants the winner. So all y'all saying he top 5, and I say I don't think he better than David Benavidez. Let's see. First of all, Fanon, how do I put Bud Crawford over Dimitri Bivol, who beat a younger Canelo and beat Arthur Beterbiev?
Good point.
And he said he willing to come to 168 as well. So I don't think nobody right now think that Bud could beat Dimitri Bivol at 168 or David Benavidez. So how great could he be then? But he could fight Canelo? I'm just saying, if you can fight Canelo, you can fight David Benavidez and Dimitri Bivol. Because, first of all, Bud looked like he's bigger than Canelo. So I don't want to hear that size stuff. I don't want to hear it. If you can fight at 168, then you're fighting at 168. If you win, you will be the undisputed champion at 168. Fight David Benavidez then. And let's see how great you are.
Real Deem, hold up real quick, because Kamal's probably going to jump back on. What's going on, Matt? What's on your mind?
Yo, what's up, man? Yo, I'm just saying, you get my Cash App, bro?
Oh, yeah, that's the $5 holler, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Let's go, bro. But yeah, yo, what's your thought on who you think's gonna be the bantamweight champion? You think it's gonna be Amanda Nunes, or it's gonna be what's her name? The judo girl.
I don't do MMA, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, you don't know? Oh, okay.
But I'll rock with. But for you asking, I'll rock with Amanda Nunes no matter what, because I rock with her. I just haven't seen a lot. I haven't seen women's MMA in a minute, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was that it? That's all you needed?
Oh yeah, that's it. All
right, bro. Get back, man. Thank you for the support,
man. Yo, you got my Cash App, though.
I do. He said, Alton, you're Alton?
Yeah, that's me, bro.
All right, okay, cool. He said, yeah, just a little support, bro. Thank you, man.
Yo.
Appreciate you, man. Get back. All right, what you on, Dean? Thank you. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother.
I'm just saying, there's 2 active fighters right now that are Canelo Alvarez real adversaries. And if, like I said, because the part I don't like, Fanon, is if Bud wins, we elevate him. So what happens if he loses? I can't expect him to do what I expect every 168 champion to do. I'm just asking the question. It's simple. It's just a simple question. If David Benavidez already was mad at Terence Crawford and them and told Terence, no, fight me first before Canelo. So all y'all that'll be sitting up here saying I'm crazy, well, clearly Canelo has done everything he could to not fight David Benavidez. He had no problem fighting Terence Crawford.
That's the fight. That's the crazy shit. That's the crazy shit. It's like you have a huge fight right in front of you. Canelo and David Benavidez, a huge competitive fight that people have been wanting for several years. But then they manufacture a fight that nobody's asked for and claim that that's the big fight instead of the one that everybody wants. But I guess Turkey couldn't get Canelo to fight David Benavidez, or he don't want David Benavidez to beat Canelo because David Benavidez is loyal to the PBC. I don't know what it is, bro, but They are definitely pulling the switch up, bro.
For now, you know what it is. They know they can't beat him. And for all y'all people in the comments saying he naturally bigger, everybody at 168 is basically naturally bigger than Canelo Alvarez, yo. I don't want to hear don't fight at the division if you don't want to fight the people that are there. I don't care about, we not making excuses. If you okay with Canelo fighting David Benavidez, you should be okay with Bud Crawford fighting David Benavidez, period. They both came from the same divisions. Neither one of them are natural 168 fighters. And should I believe you or my cataract eyes? Because Terence Crawford looks bigger than Canelo Alvarez. I'm just saying, I don't want to hear, that's what people do for now. I don't want to hear the excuses. David Benavidez can't go up to 175 and be like, oh, I ain't fighting Bivol and Beterbiev because they naturally bigger than me.
And David Benavidez does not look big at 175. He doesn't. He does not look big at 175. He looks like a small 175.
For now, they said they putting Bud Crawford over Joe Louis, who is getting threatened by the mafia. Y'all don't even got the heart. Look at the purse.
What was the argument? What's the argument though? I mean, before I dismiss it, what's the argument for Terence Crawford passing Joe Louis?
He didn't respond when I responded to him. He didn't respond. It probably wasn't no real good answer he could give me because of what I said.
There is no answer for that. There is no answer for that.
Joe Louis dominated eras. Joe Louis transcended boxing. Joe Louis was getting threatened by the mafia to lose. Dude, y'all don't even know what that type of pressure is.
Let me tell you, man. Joe Louis. My mother tells a story because she was a kid when Joe Louis was fighting. They said, man, everybody in the neighborhoods all opened their windows up and would stick their radios outside, and the whole neighborhood would have barbecues, and they said it was like surround sound because you could hear it in every house in the neighborhood. That's how into Joe Louis the black community was. And the reason they were that is because he beat 25 consecutive top 10 opponents. Come on, man. 25 consecutive title defenses. There's nothing Terence Crawford has done that compares to 25 successful heavyweight title defenses as an undisputed champion. Let me repeat, you guys love undisputed. He was the only champion. He defended his undisputed title 25 times, but has never defended an undisputed title. That man defended his 25 times, and he was the focal point of the entire sports world. But you're going to just pull the name out. Like, that's all you did. You just pulled the name out because it was old. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't say Ali. Like, and seriously, there's legitimate arguments, bro, for Joe Louis's career being as good or better than Ali's career.
Facts,
there's legitimate arguments about that.
My grandpa would pick Joe Louis. My grandpa was born in 1925. For now, everything you said is 100% right because my grandfather told me the same thing. Rest in peace to him. And the biggest part for now, you ain't bring up with Joe Louis. Y'all want to talk about naturally bigger? Joe Louis was a small heavyweight, y'all. Y'all didn't know that part either, did you?
Yeah, it's like 6'2", 105 pounds, something like that. And he fought much bigger guys.
I'm just saying. And then but when I brought up Sugar Ray Leonard, first of all, Bud's not better than Sugar Ray Leonard, who beat all of the guys that we talk about. So he got to get past Hearns and Hagler and Duran before we can even start talking about Leonard.
Yeah, because Leonard's got wins over Tommy Hearns, Duran,
Hagler, and Duran.
There's no way Bud got that shit. Like, there's no way. Dude.
Bud's not better than George Foreman. How we just skipping Big George like he ain't take 10 years off and came back and became heavyweight champion?
And
he only lost to Ali in his prime.
Nah, he lost to Ron Lyle too. He lost to the dude that retired him.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I think not Ron Lyle. Somebody beat him. Somebody dropped him and beat him. Somebody, look at this. Walt said, this nigga said Ali was defensively immature. He was defensively immature?
The fuck do that mean?
What? What
do that mean, Fanon?
What he means is he was defensively irresponsible, probably. He probably
Muhammad Ali?
But guess what? No, he was defensively irresponsible. But you know what the problem was? He could do it. because he was so gifted. Do you ever see Ali duck punches? Like, he's not doing what these dudes are doing. He's literally just moving his head like this out of 3-punch combinations. Seeing it all coming, bro. He could afford to have his hands low. He could afford to do it because his hands were so fast. He's one of the dude who had in the 1960s had the best defense that there was. Ali was incredible. Ali had incredible defense. But oh my God, he was smothering punches.
Why that statement is so terrible, and this is how great Ali was. You want to say the man is defensively immature, but then he had a whole defense named after him from having one of the best defensive performances ever in boxing. It's something called the rope-a-dope. That's the same person we're talking about. That stopped George Foreman from being George Foreman. Do you know anybody else that could stop him from being George Foreman?
No.
That way? Oh, okay then. I'm just
mugged him. And the crazy thing is he mugged him. He muffled him. Do you know what they call head control? Somebody gonna say pause on that. But the way you grab somebody's head and you move them around with their head and you grab their arms, do you appreciate how strong Ali was? Like, if you go back and look at that fight, the thing that you'll notice is that the stronger person of the two was Muhammad Ali. Very underrated in his strength, man. And
absolutely,
defensively immature. The dude has the best record. There is a boxing historian called Boxing Librarian that literally came up with a system, and based on the rankings of the fighters at the time you fought him, Ali had the highest rating of any boxer in history off that rating because of how many fighters he fought, bro. This dude, if he was defensively irresponsible, he would have lost to Sonny Liston for sure.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck can you be defensively irresponsible, but yet somebody can't lay a glove on you? That shit doesn't make any sense, bro. But whatever. Keep talking. Because if somebody comes back, like I'm telling you right now, bro, Muhammad Ali will beat the piss out of Alexander Usyk.
Absolutely.
Piss out of that. I mean,
absolutely.
Piss out of that.
That's a terrible style for Usyk. Like that's the
terrible.
style that's terrible. Larry Holmes, another one that would have gave him everything he asked for. A certain fighter. Yeah, Larry Holmes. Because they think about it, Fanon. I don't think Usyk would have been able to even get past Larry Holmes' jab. First of all, like that would have been prom Larry. That would have been. No, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't. But Muhammad Ali for sure. Usyk doesn't beat George Foreman to me. It's a bunch of other heavyweights I can go to. I'm not sure Usyk beats Lennox Lewis. I think that's a great fight, but I'm not sure he beats Lennox Lewis either. So
who is that?
Alexander Usyk. I'm
not
sure
he's gonna get knocked out by. He'll get knocked out by Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis is asleep.
So it's a couple fighters.
Lennox Lewis will sleep Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Deontay. I love Deontay, but that shit's night, Deontay.
Yeah, he going to bed.
You going to bed, dog.
That's a bad matchup for Deontay
Lewis. Lennox Lewis, one of the top 3 all time for connect rate as far as people tracked by CompuBox. Was him, Joe Louis, and Floyd Mayweather. So yeah, Lennox Lewis will be putting hands on them dudes.
Man, be putting the hands on them, dog. Yes, sir.
And it's
go ahead, No, go ahead.
Just saying. No, it's fighters like Larry Holmes. It's fighters like James Toney. It's fighters like Bernard Hopkins. It's fighters like one of my favorite as a kid that got me into boxing, Fanon, Felix Trinidad. It's fighters like that. Winky Wright. Like how we just see people talk about they love boxing, but don't even know Winky Wright. Wherever you got him ranked, he should be ranked higher than that because everybody was ducking him. He was literally a man getting ducked. Y'all like using this duck word? Winky Wright is a top 5 most ducked fighters ever. Like
because
they knew they wasn't Phoenix.
Because they knew they wasn't gonna get past his high guard, and he was gonna be hitting them back. Because Winky, he had them long arms. His high guard was something else. His elbows came all the way down to his belt line. Like you wasn't getting past that. No body shots, no nothing. He ain't had to hunch over a lot the way other fighters did whenever he put his hands up because the motherfuckers was long for his height. So yeah, like you was gonna have to try to find the opening. Like you remember when Pacquiao fought Joshua Clottey? And you remember how
Nah,
Clottey had
hey,
his
I'll be
high
right
guard
back.
up?
I'm gonna get some coffee. You too cool for a minute?
Yeah, we good for
Yeah.
now. We got
All
you.
right, that's what's up. I'll be right back. Hey, y'all. Thank you to everybody that supports in the Cash App and everybody that supports in the Super Chat. It is how we're able to do this video. So thank you guys so much. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so you remember when Pacquiao was fighting Clottey, he couldn't get past that high guard, so he went ahead and did that clap punch.
Oh, the double. I do remember the double punch.
So
Yo,
yeah, hey, that's the same thing that Winky Wright would have had people doing, man, because that's the same type of high guard he had. Like he didn't have because like with boxers, when you put that high guard up, some of them have to dip and twist and turn to make sure that they elbows down there to cover their body. But Winky Wright ain't really had that problem because his arms are so damn long. So yeah, you didn't have to do much of that. People
and he was
wasn't
a
getting past that
southpaw,
defense, and he was
and he
gonna
was a
hit you back.
southpaw. Man, listen here.
So,
But Phoenix, that be my problem with boxing, Phoenix. And I know that you train and you really into boxing. People like that get on my nerves. Like when we start talking about, like, I love Noah Inoue and Usyk and guys like that, but we just forget the guys of yesteryears, like they wasn't who they was. Winky Wright was a superstar in the game at one point in time. Yes,
yep.
he was. And you'll just skip over him. Like, is Bud better than Andre Ward? Are you sure about that? I'm not sure
Nah,
about that. I'm
nah,
not
because look
sure
at what
about
Andre
that.
Ward did. Look at like not just that. The fact that since he was 14 until he retired, he ain't lost the fight. Then he won the gold medal in the Olympics. First American in what was it, 12 years to win gold at the Olympics. And that was Andre Durrell ended up winning bronze that year. But Andre Ward though, like look at the Super Six. He went ahead and took out all the top people at 168 and that. All the top
No,
people. Like that
facts.
was something that's something that you can't overlook. And then on top of that, moved up and everybody was worried about the crusher Kovalev, especially after he done crushed B Hop. And he went up there and he crushed the crusher. He took Kovalev's soul out of him. Like people was thinking that first fight was a fluke just because Ward got knocked down in round two. Just because he got
Mhm.
knocked down, they automatically assumed, oh, he won because man, have you see that's another thing. Like people don't look at rounds the right way. They keep on thinking momentum carries over. Nah, each round is its own round. That's why they had to have the sanctioning bodies and people come up and talk to the fighters before and the judges before Pacquiao and Marquez fought the fourth time because they were
Facts.
saying, yeah, you got to score each round individually as if it's the first round of the fight. Ain't no momentum carrying over, ain't none of
Yeah, I
that.
hate that. I
Each
hate that, Phoenix. Nah, it ain't no more, man. You got to score rounds by the round. Like that be the bullshit in boxing, bro.
Yep, yep, and that's
But
and that's the thing. Like they was looking at that, wanted to say Ward lost the fight all day, but then he came back, and the way that he stopped Kovalev, the way he made dude fold and quit, man, and then people wanted to downplay it and say it was only because of low blows. Nah, like Ward caught him with that counter right that turned his legs into jelly, and then like literally whooped his ass to every corner of the ring. The way that Tank did Devin in that sparring footage every corner of the ring and then stopped them with the body shots.
hey,
Like,
Phoenix.
man,
And you see how
yeah,
everybody talking about they making the excuses for the David Benavidez thing with Bud Crawford. And you know what they keep using? And I let people talk that like to talk because you get to see how full of ish they are. Well, that's mighty
yep.
funny that y'all talking about people being naturally bigger. Then tell all of those guys that's calling out Gervonta Davis to fight him at 135. Since now y'all care about people being naturally bigger than somebody. You see how that works?
I
Y'all give
know, right?
Gervonta Davis that excuse that people naturally bigger than him? Do y'all give Gervonta Davis that excuse?
True, they didn't even want to give Floyd that excuse when they knew Floyd was small for 147 even.
But Phoenix, I'm saying they used the total opposite argument with Gervonta Davis. Name the fighter that you want to see him fight. I guarantee he's naturally bigger than him. Lamont Roach was
Exactly.
at 130 is naturally bigger than Gervonta Davis. So miss me with the naturally bigger stuff. And he's tall. David Benavidez is taller. You want to know who else is 3-4 inches taller than Gervonta Davis? It's a guy named Shakur Stevenson. Have y'all ever seen him fight before? I'm just
Yep.
saying.
And Shakur Stevenson the same size as Frank Martin.
So the naturally bigger stuff go out the window right there, y'all. Sorry. Y'all
Huh?
don't give
How's
Gervonta Davis that excuse. I'm not giving Bud Crawford that excuse. Can't do it.
You know why? It's because they listen to that dude with them weird hats that be talking about, Gervonta's power is just, transcending all. So that's why, he got to fight them bigger dudes. No, he can't fight. He can't fight in his own weight class. He got to fight somebody bigger. He can't drain himself 20, 30 pounds, and fight somebody, at 122, 126, like these other guys are doing, because then he'd be a weight bully. So, it's a lose-lose situation for him. Lose. So like he can't fight people his size because that's unfair. They're gonna say that even though these people are already in the weight class, they weight drain. He can't fight nobody bigger than him because they're gonna say, oh, he gonna put a rehydration clause. But why are these people calling him out? And then he can't do the same thing that other people is doing with fighting 3 weight classes below what they walk around at, because then they're gonna say that, oh, he just looking for an advantage to beat up on smaller people. That's what they're gonna say about him. And I've been saying this for a minute. It is crazy to me how all of a sudden they got it backwards. When you calling somebody out, they supposed to come play by your rules. When has that happened? Because every time you call someone out, if you were the lower weight class and you calling out somebody bigger than you got to go to them. That's what happened, and you see it like with all the big fights. When Floyd Mayweather was coming up, and he was talking about Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya, like he knew Shane Mosley was coming down. He's like, oh, if Shane Mosley come down from 154 to 147, I'll go up to 147 to fight him. Or even when he finally got to Oscar, because Oscar was the money guy at the time, he went up to Oscar's weight class. When Canelo was calling out Floyd, Canelo said he'd go down to 150. They came down, did it in 152. Chad Dawson, he called out Andre Ward to move down from 175 to 168. Andre Ward won a Kovalev. He moved from 168 up to 175. They got Juan Manuel Marquez when he couldn't get the third fight with Pacquiao first, called out Floyd. He moved up to 144 for the catch weight. Like everybody who's calling somebody out goes to them. But Tank don't call nobody out. Everybody got his name in their mouth, but he's supposed to be the one to go ahead and do what they say and go to them. How is this not making sense to people? Like if you call someone out, you calling someone out, you saying you can beat them, then you go to them and show it. Don't try to start making all these excuses about what you will and won't do to, in order to make that happen if you're the one calling them out. That's my problem with this.
Phoenix, you know what's even crazier? They doing all of that stuff, but I ain't hear nobody complain about Canelo fighting Edward Berlanga. Edward Berlanga and David Benavidez are the same size.
Yep.
But
Yep.
if I said Bud Crawford fight the winner of Berlanga and Shiraz, they'll be like, oh, Bud Crawford gonna beat Edward Berlanga. Why he can't fight David Benavidez then? What the
Man,
problem is? What the problem is, like
man,
Martin said. What the problem is, man? I'm
the
just saying,
skill.
David. I'm just saying, man. I don't like different rules for different fighters. If y'all gonna use size, then tell all of those guys at 140, 147 to go fight Gervonta at 135. If y'all gonna use naturally bigger, then you should have never wanted to see Canelo fight anybody at 168 because all of those guys are naturally bigger. Name me the fighter Canelo done fought in the last 12 fights that's not naturally bigger than him. Even
The
Jermell
only,
Charlo is bigger than
Yildirim is probably
Canelo.
it. Yildirim,
uh,
maybe.
maybe
Yildirim.
Golovkin is about the same size, and maybe John Ryder.
And I think I'm gonna be real. I think Golovkin's bigger than him. I think he just was suppressing himself to stay at 160 all of those years. I think Golovkin is bigger than him.
Maybe that could
I
be the
think he is.
case.
So it's just I just don't like the different rules for different folks. If we gonna elevate Bud if he wins and say he's
I'm
top
not.
5 and all of that stuff, then what happens if he loses to an older Canelo?
He
Then where
bottom
do we put
five.
Dimitri Bivol at? Where do we put people like that at who beat Canelo years ago and
Exactly.
beat Beterbiev? I love
Yeah,
Earl Spence.
that's my thing. That's my thing with this whole Bud thing. Like, we're gonna say, oh man, we have to have a discussion about Bud being in the top five if he beats a Canelo who people say been going downhill since losing to Bivol, saying that he's spending too much time golfing and ain't really focused on boxing no more. Is only chasing paydays and easy fights because he don't have the motivation to fight no more. Yeah, that Canelo beating that Canelo's who we gonna say we need to have a top five discussion about Bud. But what about the people who beat Canelo when he was younger, when he was still considered to be hungry, when he was still considered to be a threat to people and still knocking people out, like Floyd, arguably Lara, because I think Lara won that
I
fight.
think Lara won that
Bivol,
fight. Lara
yeah.
won that
So
fight.
like exactly. So like we gonna say that Bud is ranked top five because he beat what people is already calling a lesser version of Canelo. Come
Who's
on.
ducking
Like,
David Benavidez currently to fight you?
exactly. And that's the part that gets me. Like, they've been people, and it's some of the same people who've been saying Canelo ain't shit now because he ain't been getting stoppages. People who've been saying that Canelo don't try no more when he fights. People that saying that Canelo became complacent and he does, coasting throughout the rest of his career because he don't want to take no challenges and his heart ain't in it no more. We're gonna say like that. A fighter who y'all basically saying is just holding on to get some money before retire. He ain't even really with it no more. We gonna say that is what deserves to give somebody recognition if they beat that. That's some bullshit.
But just
Like,
just
no
to put
lie.
him over some of the greats, when no offense to Earl and Canelo, when that's your best two wins, bro, and they not either one of them, I don't consider being top 20 fighters in boxing ever. Nah, fam. I can't put you over. I can't put you over a lot of how I put you over Ray Leonard. How I put you over Ali and Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Lewis. Like how am I going to put you over people like that? Sugar Ray, y'all, do y'all know who Sugar Ray beat? He beat three guys that people got top 20 ever. Fadad, please. What?
Right.
I think he beat a top five all time welterweight from all the welterweights that I know of. I think Tommy Hearns is top five welterweights, and he beat Tommy Hearns, even though I don't like how that was stoppage. I didn't like that stoppage, but still. And then he beat Duran, and he beat Hagler. There's just no
Bro.
way. There's just no way you can get
Hell no.
Bud over Sugar Ray Leonard. No way.
And then
That's
Floyd, then
tough.
Fort Cotto, De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Gotti, Zab Juice. Like, bro, what we talking about, bro?
Yeah, like, man, to say that he would be over Floyd though, like, man, Bud ain't been in no five divisions as a champion. Nah. And that's another thing that Oscar De La Hoya and Roy Jones did. Five division champions. Bud ain't done that. Because I know if people want to talk about accomplishments, yeah, you can talk about undisputed all you want. But again, like undisputed, it just depends on the time and the placement.
Now,
Because
Bud's a
Floyd,
great. Go, I'm sorry, Phoenix.
oh yeah, 'cause I'm gonna say like, because people want to bring up Floyd too, because like with all the talk about money and his 50-0 record, people want to talk about well, he was never undisputed. Like Floyd had two opportunities where he could have been, but it's just a matter of technicality. Like if he would have fought Kell Brook instead of Andre Berto, then he could have been undisputed then because he had every other belt, you know. And then the other option would have been if who was it? Um, the guy that
Was it
beat
Sean
Zab Judah.
Porter?
No,
Oh no,
Baldomir, Carlos Baldomir, because he was the last
Baltimore.
person at
Yup, yup.
147 to defeat an undisputed champion.
I
But you
forgot
see,
about him, Phoenix.
yeah, yeah, because he was B side. He didn't make enough money for sanctioning fees, so he didn't take the belts. So technically, you know, he didn't lose until he fought Floyd because he beat Zab Judah, then he beat Arturo Gatti, and then lost to Floyd, but he didn't have the belts. So like, okay, that's another situation where Floyd could have been undisputed because nobody beat Baltimore. So like, how much weight do we really want to put on that? if it couldn't come down to a technicality like that, as far as okay, the B side won when he wasn't supposed to, and then didn't want to take the belts because of sanctioning fees, and then they split up. You know, so it's things like that for me where it's like, okay, Devin Haney got lucky. Bud, he didn't even have to go around and collect all the belts, just fought one person for him.
Mm-hmm.
Spence. Because Spence went around and took the belts from everybody. Same thing with
It's just,
Lomachenko, when he did it too. So it's like, man, if you ain't going around to go ahead and beat every single champion and take them, then come on, like how important is your undisputed for real for real?
and don't get it twisted. Bud is a great fighter, but if Bud get this 3-time undisputed, we gotta put him top 15, top 20, top 25, wherever you got him at. Ain't nobody disputing Bud Crawford's talent. A lot of those fighters we mentioned will have a hard time with Terrence Bud Crawford in the ring, all the way up to Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, and everybody else. They would have a tough time dealing with Terrence Crawford. We are not saying that.
Mm,
What we saying
I
is
mean,
you.
I don't know about that
I
because
don't know about Tommy
one thing,
Hearns. I don't think Tommy Hearns gonna have no heart.
Well,
because Tommy Hearns, he was fast. His hands was fast for as long as his arms were, and for his
Fanon, you
stature and
muted.
build, his hands was crazy quick.
Fanon, you muted. Fanon, you muted.
Yeah, your mic ain't
Oh,
on.
my bad. Oh, I
Yeah.
know. I'm telling you, hell no, Tommy Hearns gonna knock his ass out. I don't think that's a close fight at all between the two of them.
I
No,
ain't
because
mad at that
for
though, because
real,
I can
I
see
don't think
exactly what you're talking
Telling you,
about.
I see that shit is night, bud. I see that shit is night.
and
Like
I agree
night.
because Bud ain't as slick as people think he is. I
He
don't
gonna
think
get
Bud's
caught,
defense is what it is. Like the dude do be getting touched up. Like
and that jab, because Tommy Hearns, that jab is for real. Like his
oh
jab
yeah,
is for real. So in that arm length, he's gonna be. And I don't care about that southpaw shit. That man's gonna come over the top of that jab. He gonna come
exactly.
over, and he's too small. He's just too. I've stood next to Tommy Hearns, bro. Tommy Hearns is bigger than me. Like
He a big dude.
he's a big ass man, bro.
Yeah,
But
he
he got
is.
skinny legs, big ass man with skinny ass legs, bro. So he
Hey,
can make
Man,
Fanon, Bank Hayes in the comments said, "Ain't none of them other guys was on snack though." Bank
That's
Hayes, you
true.
got a great point. You got a great point there. Nah, he top 30 then. He ain't in no top 25 because ain't nobody else was with Victor
They
in
got
that
that snack
snack.
on him.
God,
What up, Kamal?
the only other person with Victor was Shane Mosley.
I can't believe they did my man Shane like that. What's up, Kamal? I saw you came on earlier, bro. Oh, before you say something, Kamal. Now I'm glad that we brought up Sugar Ray Leonard and how ain't no damn way Bud is better than Sugar Ray Leonard, because then we can now put Joe Louis into context. Because ain't nobody saying Sugar Ray Leonard had a better career than Joe fucking Louis, bro. Nobody is saying that, dog. Nobody's out there like, yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah, he's got a better career than Joe Louis. No. So if you ain't there with Sugar Ray, dog, you ain't there with Joe Louis, bro. If you're not quite as honestly, if you're not there with Ali, you're not there with Joe Louis, bro. You got to be near Ali to be near Joe Louis. That's my personal belief. What's
I
up,
agree.
Kamal?
I agree with you. And this may be controversial, but I'm going to say it right now. Crawford is not top 25 all time. Not.
Nope.
He's not better than Joe Frazier? You telling me Crawford is better than Joe Frazier? What did I tell you, jabronis, about great? This term great, this adjective great, is thrown around way too much in our society when people mean good or decent. Great means consistently overperforming against elite competition. That's why Clinelho is not great.
Say that
Because
again, Kamal. Say that one more time for him, please.
my man Deeb, great is overperforming against elite competition on a consistent basis. It
And
is
these niggas
not
underperforming against average competition.
exactly. And that's why Canelo's not great, because every step up fight or every fight that you thought was 50-50, he pretty much lost. Or there's an argument that could be made that he lost. Austin Trout, bullshit open scoring. I still thought Austin was forced prematurely into going all balls to the wall because he was down like 6-0 after the first 6 rounds when he clearly dominated most of those rounds. I still thought Austin beat him. even after the Texas Open scoring. There was Laura. Many people think Laura beat him. Bevo beat him. I even thought the Miguel Cotto fight could have gone either way or been a draw.
Come on, Triple G, the first fight, he lost that fight.
That was a robbery. That was a plain
That was a
robbery.
robbery, bro.
That was definitely a robbery. And then in the second fight, I thought he won against Triple G. The second fight, I didn't care about the third fight. Second fight, I definitely thought he won, but many people thought the Triple G won the second fight. Okay, so Canelo is not a great fighter. He's a very good fighter who uses rules and uses his statues to bend the rules and stuff like his stature, I should say, to bend the rules. So Crawford beat Errol Spence. We're not going to ignore the circumstances of that win, but who else has he beat? Are we putting the Indongo in the Namibian Hall of Fame? Is he a Hall of Fame fighter?
Oh no, hey, we got to put Avanesian up there. Hey, David Avanesian. Hey, man. Hey, he was on something. He
Are
was
we
a
putting
killer.
Ricky Burns, who ducked Adrian Broner? When Adrian was the
come on.
problem Broner, Ricky Burns wanted nothing to do with AB. I don't know if these jabronis in the audience remember that. When AB was the problem, destroying people, Ricky Burns ducked that Adrian Broner. He wanted no smoke with that version of AB. Do you guys remember that on the panel? I know you do, but the jabronis in the
No,
audience
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, that
No, we
was when
remember
Adrian
that for
Broner
sure.
done took Polly's girlfriend and told him he need to do
Yeah,
push-ups. You know,
that was that
But that
that
was
was
that Adrian Broner was
American,
start.
Mexican, anybody can get it era.
that's what
That
they
was
call him, the can man. The
the
Yep.
can
can man.
man.
African, American. But that version of AB that fought Paulie was the one that started to decline a little bit. The one that the version that this guy ducked, he was the one who ran through Tommy Reese and all those other guys. That was a whole different AB.
That was when his dad was still brushing his hair.
Yeah, yeah, that was a different AB that Ricky Burns wanted nothing to do with because he saw what AB did to Gavin Reese. Y'all remember what he did? Destroy Gavin Reese. So you
Yep.
cannot tell me that a Crawford who did not have any tune-ups, he did not have any fights at 168. He's holding out until he can get the fight, trying to play it safe. Doesn't even fight a Diego Pacheco, a Christian Mbili, let alone a David Morrell Jr. or David Benavidez. He's just going miraculously to the guy who offers the biggest paycheck, who's the quote unquote, and I say quote unquote because I don't agree with it, but he's the quote unquote face of boxing. And you're telling me if he beats a guy who, when he's consistently stepped up under equal circumstances, the results have been either a loss or the perception that many people think he lost. And I use that disclaimer under equal circumstances because we know that when he's put unequal circumstances on people, that what the results have been. We know Kovalev, that was that faded Kovalev who had been knocked out 2 out of 3 times, and he put him on a rehydration clause and all this other stuff. So you cannot tell me that Crawford is a top 25 fighter. You're going to put him above Joe Calzaghe, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton. I'm even putting, he's a talented guy, but you have to consistently demonstrate greatness against
No,
elite
that's
competition.
let me put a just to give you an example of that because I'm really glad that you said that. Because if you look at Ali's undisputed, both times that he won the heavyweight title, the first 2, he was massive. He was a massive underdog. He was matter of fact, they only gave him championship fights for the first 18 years of his career, unless he was an underdog, because he only had won him 2 times. One was Liston, and they thought he was going to get his hat handed to him, and the other one was Foreman. Those are the 2 people that he had to beat to win his first 2 championships. The third, he already had Parkinson and lost to a guy and had to beat a guy he lost to. But you can't say that Julius Indungo is the same thing as Sonny Liston. You can't you can't say that Errol Spence Jr. is the same thing as George Foreman. It's just not the same thing. You got to take the fights in context. Well, a lot of these guys they're box rec warriors, where they just look at the names, and if they don't recognize the name, they just don't think they're any good. So like I can hear in my mind's ear, I can hear people respond to what Kamal said about Ken Norton. Ken Norton lost to this guy. He lost to, who did he lose to? He lost to Foreman, and he lost to What's my guy's name?
Did he lose to
Cooney.
Frazier?
He lost to Cooney. No, they never fought Frazier. He lost to Cooney, and he lost. Those are the two that I know for sure he lost, because I don't think Norton ever won a title. He lost 2 times to. I think he might have lost 1 time to Frazier, 1 time to Foreman, 2 times to Ali, and 1 time to he may have lost to Shavers too, but.
Oh, that's another fighter. Whoa,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, so that's just like a huge difference between who you had to fight to win the title. Ali was already a Hall of Famer, but he was still an underdog going against Foreman because Foreman was killing everybody. So it's like you can't like, and then you got to you look at Joe Frazier, like Joe Louis, and look at what Joe Louis did with Max Baer. Was it Max Baer or who was the guy? Was it James Braddock? Who was the guy that he beat in Germany? Damn, I can't remember the name of the German. Max Schmeling. Max Schmeling. It's Max Schmeling.
Yeah, Schmeling.
Yeah, Schmeling. You know how big a fight that was? That was a huge fight. It was a huge moment. Bud has never even been in an environment as big as that. So I don't think what do you say?
No, I was going to say this, and this is the biggest point about Terence Crawford, y'all. More than anything else, Kamal and Fanon. He's not active enough to compare him to those other guys either. He fights once a year. Bud Crawford has only fought 7 times in the last 8 years, y'all. Do y'all know that? Or 8 times in the last 7 years, one of them. He's not active enough to be considered one of the top greats of all. That counts for something. Canelo was like 4 years younger than Bud Crawford and got like 25 more fights.
So you're right. Bud got what, 40?
He only got 40 fights.
You're right.
But to put this in perspective, Kamal and Fanon, Jerron Ennis only has 7 less fights than Terence Crawford.
Damn.
He's 11 years younger than him, Fanon. Jerron Ennis is 11 years younger than Terence Crawford. He only has 7 less fights than a man. Gervonta Davis only has what? 10 less? 9 less fights than the man. And they say, and think about how inactive Crawford is, Kamal and Fanon, because they say Gervonta is inactive. I want y'all to, Gervonta is more active than Bud Crawford, and people say he's inactive.
While they say he's inactive, even though he fights twice a year, every year.
Fanon, you know, you've heard it, PBC.
Yeah, because I'm like, they're like, he's inactive. I'm like, dude, he fights 2 times every year. What do you mean? There was 1 year if he had not gone to jail, he would have fought 3 times in that year. He's not dude. Gervonta's an active fighter. He's not an inactive fighter. And in the time that he did take a break was because he went to jail.
Yeah, and he had the judges thing, the rulings that he couldn't travel or leave the state. There was the controversy over where he was going to live because of that was a judge's ruling through the legal system. That played into his inactivity. But Crawford's been purposefully inactive. And I love how people say he's chasing greatness. Well, how's Crawford chasing greatness when he said he didn't sign with the PBC when his top rank contract was over and he knew where the action was at welterweight? Now you want to send Danny Garcia a bullshit offer of $3 million when you offered Amir Khan $7 million, the same Danny Garcia that knocked out Amir Khan at 140 that was a much bigger name, and then you want to say, oh, he ducked me. How the fuck does that work? The game is so messed up these days, man. So you can't tell me. I mean, Calzaghe I put over him, B-Hop, Roy Jones, James Toney. I mean, there's so many other people who had true 50-50 fights, multiple of them. Even Sergio Martinez had multiple 50-50 fights. Didn't win every one, but you're not going to win every fight. You could be the best and not win every fight. So this talk of this guy being this great elite fighter when you've had one 50-50 fight that people thought going into it was a 50-50 fight, then Errol comes into the arena, he's glazed over, he looks clearly just not there, not present. So okay, so that's your win, and you yourself discredited that win because you said Errol's not a Hall of Famer. So how am I going to put you above people who beat multiple Hall of Famers? How does that work?
That's a great point, Kamal. He definitely said that. I don't know why Terrence said that, but he said that. So
because he's a hater. You just got Vinny Panzienza just got in. Vinny Panzienza. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I fucks with Vinny Panzienza. You know what I mean? I fucks with Vinny Panzienza. But Vinny Panzienza isn't no Errol Spence. He didn't have a better career than Errol Spence. So how in the world is he in there and Tim Bradley in there? I don't know, man. That dude was just a hater, bro. Like for real, like a serious one at that.
He's never cared about chasing greatness, really, because he even admitted it. He and Bomac even admitted that's why they re-signed with Top Rank, because they wanted the easy path. They let Errol do all the heavy lifting at 147. Let Errol fight all the killers back to back to back. You know, Bob Arum even said, Ugas, we'll fight Ugas, but Crawford doesn't want to fight him. So he took the easy route, man. So you're not telling me that someone who doesn't live up to the greatness conversation has a resume that's paper thin, and he's going to fight a guy who, since the very beginning, Fanon, Canelo has had an easy road other than a couple of fights. From when the WBC allowed him to win his vacant 154-pound title against Matthew Hatton or Ryan Rhodes, one of the two. He was defending against nothing but welterweights. Meanwhile, letting Vanez do all the heavy lifting and fighting all the mandatories in the eliminator after eliminator. And then Golden Boy sent Eris Landy Laura over there to HBO to fight Vanez to get him off of Canelo's back. So you're not going to tell me that beating that guy, and then as Dean said earlier, and Phoenix said earlier, you're beating a guy that many people think is in decline. He's basically a full-time golfer. He's clearly ducked David Morrell Jr. He ducked David Benavidez. He says they bring nothing to the table. He's fighting these fights that nobody wants to see. They're not even publishing his real pay-per-view buy numbers, other than really the Caleb Plant fight. So you're going to beat a guy like that who's been basically spoon-fed a lot of his life. He was supposed to take the torch from Floyd. He failed miserably. But since Floyd retired, he was like, okay, I got the Mexican dates. How the fuck does that work? How is that the game? Okay,
And
so
come on,
go ahead.
Fanon, let me ask y'all this. This is the craziest part. If Bud is this guy that everybody trying to put him up to be, name me another fighter that was considered a great that it took them until they was 37 for the whole world to notice. Why wasn't he considered a top great 10 years ago when he was 26, 27,
Maybe
28 years
Bernard Hopkins.
old?
Maybe Bernard Hopkins. That's the only person I can think
No,
of. Maybe.
but for now, he started late. He was in
Yeah.
prison. Bud started at like 20,
Yep.
19.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's the only one. You say the age 36, that's about the only one.
And I'll
If I can
qualify.
think of.
I'll qualify what Deem said. American base, because some of those dudes in Thailand that don't get discovered until later on, but they're younger than 36. But guys like Sor Rongvasai, who you'll hear his story and how he was eating rats because he was so poor in Thailand. Yes, Sor Rongvasai talked about being so poor as a boxer that he was eating rats, and then finally he got the opportunity to come over here and he destroyed that hype train. Pumpkin face Chocolatito Gonzalez, who corporate media told me was a #1 pound for pound fighter. So yeah, to Deem's
Kamal,
credit,
just think about this, Kamal. Gervonta was a superstar 4 years ago. Name the fighter. Ali. Ali was a superstar at 22, 23. Name the fighter. Oscar De La Hoya. Ain't none of these guys have to wait till they was in their 30s to be considered one of the best fighters in boxing. By the time
No.
they was Bud age, they was dwindling out.
exactly. And
Hey,
Bud was based in America.
Come on, real
Yeah.
quick before you do it. Jameson Children said, loving this panel. Keep cooking, fellow, with the $10 holler, brother. Thank you so much, Jameson, for that support, bro. Thank you, Jameson. He's such a big supporter. Go ahead, come on.
Yeah, and just as Deem said, the only thing caveat I'm adding is that sometimes guys don't get discovered until later. But again, it's because they're based overseas. Maybe there's not somebody who's really involved in scouting that area, or word doesn't get out. You know, Bud was based in America, and like Deem said, he wasn't a star. So again, people need to bring it back, dial it back, have a more macro outlook on boxing than a micro outlook. You know, don't necessarily buy the lies of corporate media and guys like Dick Glazer, that racist piece of shit. I would love to get on a panel with Dick Glazer because I would crucify him. Sorry if I offended anybody. I shouldn't have.
Nah,
used
he'll
that
start
verb.
yelling. Nah, he'll just start yelling and screaming and jump off.
No, he would jump off. He's a coward. So
He'd get cut off when his teeth fall out.
yeah, but my
just don't-
manager Marty destroyed him. He
I
managed. He
just
didn't
don't
want
see how
anything.
we. I just don't see how we boost the guy up. Like at the end of the day, I love Bud Crawford as a fighter, but I gotta be honest. I ain't never seen a guy that the most popular he has ever been. It took him until he was 37 years old to do it. I have never seen nobody we call great have that. Bud Crawford started at 19, 20 years old. He was fighting on Top Rank 10 years ago.
You know what
He
my
wasn't
suspicion
on
about that is?
pay-per-view main events. He wasn't doing all of that stuff then. So how can I even compare him to guys who got to stardom faster? What I'm basically saying, y'all, is they held they stardom in their prime. Bud wasn't considered one of the best fighters ever in his prime. That's the unfortunate part. Was he considered a top guy in boxing? Was he a guy that was Bud was still on the up and coming at 30. This is a
You,
fact.
And
but
because
you know
while
what it
Errol
is?
Spence and all the PBC guys were doing the heavy lifting, even Keith Thurman, who people love to hate for no reason, really, while he was doing that, Crawford was re-signed with Top Rank, fighting guys like John Molina and these kind of guys. I love John Molina, support law enforcement. He's now a police officer. Salute to the guys in LA that are standing up for sovereignty. But while he was taking the easy route, the guaranteed paychecks, Errol was fighting back-to-back killers, doing all the heavy lifting. So how am I going to put somebody who, had that kind of career in there as a top 25 fighter when when multiple people that I've named and people that I haven't named have done a lot more and pursued greatness. So you're going to fight a full-time golfer now who's scared shitless of David Benavidez and David Morrell Jr., who's fighting Jaime Munguia, who's fighting Bumlanga, and these fights that she showcase fights that nobody wants to see, and the public is not responding to him because they're not even publishing his number. The last numbers they published for Canelo was the Caleb Plant fight, and that was the
Hey,
last one anyone was interested in.
hey y'all, I'm about to hop off, but I gotta say something I think gonna have y'all laughing. Bud, I hate to do you like this, but I gotta do it. Oh, Phoenix gonna love this. Fanon gonna love this. Devin Haney was more popular at 25, 26 than Terence Crawford was. Y'all have a great day, okay?
That was a good one. And,
Hey, I
and to,
gotta agree with that.
to Dean's point on Devin Haney and Fanon's point, I heard you bring this up earlier. Um, Devin only got undisputed because Russia invaded Ukraine. Devin was
Yep.
with Eddie Hearn, and DAZN said that they were out of the Devin Haney
Oh,
business. They
there's
said that
another
they
thing
were
with that
tired of
too.
overpaying him relative to what he brings to the table and losing money, so they cut ties with him. And so Eddie Hearn still wanted to work with them, but they were not interested in pursuing undisputed. And Bob wanted to make Lomachenko versus Kambosos. And so Russia invaded Ukraine. Lomachenko was not ready for obvious reasons, and so Devin had to go over to Top Rank to fight for undisputed. That's how
Well, the
that
other
happened.
reason,
DAZN
well, there
said
was
they were
another
out
thing
of the
too.
Haney business.
There was another thing too on that. The other thing was the WBC switching up with that franchise nonsense because they had no reason to do that. And on top of that, the whole lie about Lomachenko and Devin and the mandatory stuff, nah, because Luke Campbell was the mandatory until Mikey Garcia vacated and moved up. And they was going to do a four-man tournament to go ahead and determine who would be mandatory for Lomachenko after he fought Luke Campbell. But as soon as Lomachenko said he wanted to fight Teofimo for undisputed, that's when that whole nonsense started, and they just took the title away from Lomachenko and gave it to Devin Haney while he was in training camp. So that's the only reason. Because if it wasn't for that, Devin probably would have had to take another fight to get the WBC strap. Or he probably might have not ended up fighting Kambosos or getting the title shot at all. So they had to move that around to go ahead and give Devin at least one of the belts, so that way he could be in that fight for undisputed. That's the only reason that happened, because
Facts.
WBC all of a sudden decided that, oh, even though we just determined that the mandatory guy fought Lomachenko, and there's not really a mandatory right now, let's go ahead and just move things around and give Devin the belt. He didn't even have to fight for it.
This is I heard about 25 minutes of pure hate.
Oh, here's the propagandist with the
No,
Tank
just
versus
pure hate.
Jake Paul
Just
bullshit, man.
pure
We
hate.
get it.
Just
You troll
pure hate.
Tank. You
No, no,
make
no,
up
Oh, you
no,
ain't
shit,
no,
heard
fake
no,
hate
no.
yet.
Come on,
news.
You ain't
slow
heard
down. Come
hate
on,
yet.
slow down. Slow down. Just pure hate. You hate on Bud. I mean, you hate on Bud. Now you hating on Devin. I'm very sure Shakur will be next. You guys are
He is.
just haters to the. See, I want to answer the question. I want to see
You
how
got
much,
Bud.
how
You got
honest, hold
Bud in
on.
your top
Hold
five
on,
all
actually,
time.
huh?
You got Bud in your top five all time.
But no, I don't have Bud in my top 5 all time.
Well, then
I
how we hate?
don't.
How am I hate?
No. I'm not. No,
It
no,
ain't hate
no.
because he ain't
I'm
great.
saying up there, you guys sat there and Bud haven't done this. Bud haven't done that. Bud
Because he
can't do
hasn't.
this.
You
Bud
got
can't
Bud.
do
You got
that.
Bud. Hey, you got Bud over Joe Lewis.
No. I'm
Well,
not.
then
I'm
why
not.
are you saying I'm
No.
hating?
No.
You
No. No.
agree
No.
with
No.
me.
No. It was no. Hold on, Fanon. I'm saying this. I'm saying you guys went on and on and on. And who's saying that? Who's saying that he's over Joe? I mean, who are the people saying those things?
The people who said he's top 5 all time.
Dude, the other day I heard somebody say Tank can beat up Durant. Do you guys agree with that?
Where
I'm
No.
not gonna name the channel. I'm not gonna name
Durant
the
was bigger
channel,
than
but
Tank.
it's
Yeah,
a
that ain't
channel,
happening.
it's one of these Tank and Mania channels. Do you believe that?
No.
Nah,
Come on. Come on.
What's up?
Do you believe that Tank can beat up Durant?
I mean, that's a straw man, but no, probably not.
Okay. Well, how's that a straw man? It's just a simple
Hey,
question.
real quick, here's the straw man because he's making it sound like you claiming people said it. Hold on a
Exactly.
second.
People
Well,
did
we're,
say it.
Real quick. The dude named Dave said, "Ninja watching, enjoying the panel, keep cooking." Yeah, this is a lot of fun, man.
it's
I
because what
appreciate
Fanon and I are talking about in Phoenix.
real quick.
Go ahead.
Victor said, "Deep, thoughtful, knowledgeable discussion. Thank you so much." And one last, and I got a Cash App too. Thank you to my guy. I think this is Jameson Childress. Or Mr. Altruistic said, "Mason got more motion than Bud had." Kermit, he's saying Abdullah Mason got more motion than Bud had. Thank you so much for that support, Mr. Altruistic. That is how we're able to do the video. We're able to do the show. So thank you guys. Go ahead. Go
It's
ahead,
a
Kamal.
straw man because everything that Phoenix, myself, Deem, and Fanon are talking about, major people in corporate media and the YouTube echo chamber are saying. There's multiple sources that have made these outlandish claims about the people we're
I don't
talking
know
about.
who the multiple
Some
sources. I
random
never heard that
dude,
before.
some
I never heard that
random
before.
YouTuber, or some guy who lives 500 pounds in his mom's basement says Tank destroys Duran. That's different than the chorus of
Who
absurd
says he top?
claims that we're talking
Come
about.
on. I never heard
Najee.
anybody say
No.
that.
They said it. Okay. Don't deny they said it. People have said it. There's a million people out on YouTube. Somebody said it. Big Dog Willie. And the guy that said that put Joe Louis over put Tank put Terrence over Joe Louis was Najee from Cigar Talk. So yes, it has definitely been said, Big Dog Willie. So if you would like to respond to what's been said, cool. But is an established fact that it's been said in the boxing media because it is an ongoing conversation right now.
well, that ain't the only thing Najee say. We're talking about Muhammad Ali would be considered boring if he was fighting today, and I'm like, nah, because we've seen.
That's a disease of the mind.
Yeah, I don't believe that either because of his punch
How?
output and the way that he fought. Like
How?
Ali was authentic. Ali went out there and fought his heart out. Ali didn't duck no smoke. Any person that like Ali has beaten every person that he's fought except his very last opponent. Every person that he's fought except his very last opponent, he's beaten. Right?
No,
So
he didn't beat no Larry. He didn't beat no Larry Holmes.
yeah,
He
because
said
he had rematches with him.
he's talking about Phoenix Assassin is forgetting about Trevor Burbick because he lost to Trevor Burbick, but he lost to Larry Holmes and he lost to Trevor Burbick. But he won his original title in 1964. He lost. That was 14 years later, bro. 14 years later.
Yeah, I think Trevor Burbick was Ali's very last opponent, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Trevor
Yeah.
Burbick.
Yeah, that's the only person he ain't rematched. Like any other person who beat him, he rematched and beat them. Trevor
Larry
Burbick
Holmes.
was
He
the
didn't
only
rematch
one he
Larry
didn't have.
Holmes. He didn't rematch Larry Holmes.
Did he?
No, he
Was it
didn't.
Larry Holmes? Okay,
No,
then two.
he didn't do Larry Holmes. But dude,
Okay,
come
then
on.
two.
We, for the sake of the conversation, Big Dog Willie, can we agree that that Terence Crawford is in no kind of conversation with Ali?
No, hell no. Who's saying this shit? That's what I'm saying.
Dude. So anyway, it was a comment that was made about if Ali fought today, he would be boring. There's
Najee said that.
There's nobody fighting today that's as exciting as Ali. Nobody. Ali was running off 5-6 punch combinations like with lightning fucking speed, bro. And getting people to fuck up out of there.
Fanon, Ali's my favorite fighter of all time. Like not just as a fighter, but one of my favorite people of all time. So I'm not. Whoever said that, don't. Who's saying like that's what I'm saying. Who are saying? I hear what you're saying. You're saying certain people on major panels are saying these things. Why are they saying this?
Because they on crack. It's that turkey stuff.
But why would you even listen to something like that?
Bro, because it's a
Man,
boxing
it's
conversation. Do you want
absurd.
to engage in the conversation or not? You can't pour water on the conversation, bro.
No,
Okay?
I'm
Just
just
like
asking. I'm just no,
Big
for
Dog
no, I'm
Willie,
just
you're my guy.
asking.
Big
Like,
Dog Willie, hold on. You're my guy. And you threw blame around to 3 people. Phenomenal show. I mean, Phoenix the Assassin and Kamal Oz are more than capable of defending themselves. I'm not defending them. I'm defending myself. I think what I said about Terence
I
Crawford
wasn't talking
was
about
very.
you. I was talking about Dean. He got off.
Oh,
But
you
we
said
just,
y'all. You put me in there.
well, I was
I'm part of
trying to
y'all.
say, I was saying 25 minutes of hating. So I was talking about
Oh,
Dean and
okay.
all everybody else. But that wasn't. But I wasn't really because you weren't really talking.
Hey, real
Oh,
quick
you ain't
before
heard
you
you
go.
ain't
Big
heard hate
dog,
Hey,
yet.
big dog.
Phenomenal Show says, hell nah. Do you have a twisted obsession with Tank? Big Dog Willie? I was like, hell no. Hey, you have a twisted obsession with Tank, Big Dog Willie. I didn't think so before, but you do. How did a discussion about Bud turn into a Tank discussion? This is past trolling.
it's
Hey,
obsession. It's obsession.
in line with my hey, shout out to Martin. Shout out to my man Kamal, the great Phoenix the Assassin, and my guy Big Dog Willie. And I was
Big
about
Dog
to say the reason
Willie.
the question you asked, the answer is this, dog. In September, Tank Davis versus Jake Paul.
It's November.
Big
Get it
huge
right.
fight
It's
coming out,
November.
dog.
It's
And shout out to
November.
Hair Grease.
It's
That's
November.
that's the answer to your question,
It's
baby boy.
November. Hold on. It's
And my
November
man
22nd.
Phenomenal just
Hold
pointed it
on.
out, dog.
Hold on.
Deep
It's
down, we
November
know you love you
22nd,
some Tank. You just got that
2025
misguided form
at
of
the
love, baby
MGM
boy.
Stadium. Fact. That's what it is.
For nine, all I want to let you know though
Yes,
is
sir.
come November, the biggest fight of the year in the lightweight division is Shakur Bright Like Stevenson, shout out Asval, versus Jose Cepeda, man. That right there gonna put the stamp of officiality on Shakur and show him why he is the greatest fighter there is in the lightweight division. And I'm gonna shout him out since my main man, Big Dog Willie, his biggest fan, only want to talk Jake Paul, Tank Davis, and Hair Grease, dog. Y'all be easy, my good people. Keep cooking.
Well,
All
if he
right,
doesn't
fellas.
engage, with Zepeda, who knows? Turkey might withhold his pay the way Turkey's talking. So
And,
we'll see how that fight goes.
and what's
Well,
funny,
anyway.
another thing
Thank you,
about
Thomas
that,
Hill, for talking.
Shakur and Zepeda, hey, I'll tell you this. I'll
Here's
tell
some
you
real
this.
hate right
The
here.
way the way that the way that Shakur be talking, man, I tell you, he talking an awful lot for just now having his first step up fight. I say that. He in the same situation as Keyshawn, so you better hope he make that weight. Don't lose that belt on the scale now. Don't lose that belt on the scale come your first step up fight. 'Cause this is his first legit opponent at 135. Arguably, you could throw Edwin in there, but he ain't really fought nobody at 135 yet. And note that I said fought because he didn't fight Edwin. He was moving. He didn't fight that one. So we gonna see if he line up with everything he been saying, talking about he gonna put on the performance of a lifetime. So he gonna fight his heart out. We gonna see stuff from him we ain't never seen before. All this and that what he's saying right now. We gonna see. And if he do not live up to that, if he get up in that ring and start looking like the Roadrunner, if he get up in that ring and start acting like he afraid of his shadow, if he get up in that ring, get touched and decide he don't want to engage, man, I don't want to hear nothing about Shakur Stevenson defense being anywhere near Floyd Mayweather or Willie Pep or Pernell Whitaker, none of that. I don't want to hear nothing about his technical ability if he can't adjust and the only thing he's going to do is stay out of range to where punches don't matter. I don't want to hear none of that. None of it. So,
Well,
if you're a
thank you
Shakur
for hating.
fan,
Thank you for hating.
it's always my pleasure. Always my pleasure.
Yeah, 'cause I knew you were gonna hate. I just take it. Kamal's next, but I knew you were gonna hate. But go ahead, Kamal. Start hating again.
Hey, I mean, once again, Shakur's writing big checks. I hope he cashes them this time because he writes checks that he can't cash. They come back bounced. So he's talking about destroying
Ooh.
Zepeda. Zepeda's style is tailor made for someone like Shakur to stop him.
Sure, it is.
If he doesn't
If he
get a
had hands.
stoppage, if he engages in his cool runnings, y'all remember that Jamaican bobsled team? If he fights like he
Yeah,
usually
man.
does, if he fights like that against Cepeda, doesn't get the stoppage, disappoints Turkey, then that's on him because he's the one who's talking like he's Tank Davis, but not fighting that way. Same thing with Haney. over-promising and under-delivering. He wouldn't get half the flack that he gets if he wasn't talking so much. It's like a chihuahua. A chihuahua
That's
barks,
fine.
barks, barks, but it doesn't back it up most of the time. Bigger dogs
Fanon,
don't.
Fanon, every
Man,
time
the
I come
sad
to this
thing is
channel,
Clarissa
every time I
doing
come to this
talking for him.
channel, these two just sit there and hate. They're hating on Shakur. Well, we already know Phoenix he's just a minute. He's honest. Kamal's not
Hey,
honest. Phoenix
you
is
ain't heard my
honest about
best
it.
hate yet, Big Dog Willie. I got something for you. I got two
I
more
no,
pieces of
it's
hate.
okay. It's okay. I know you got some. I know you got some fantastic hate, legendary hate. But I'm just saying, Kamal doesn't want to admit it. But at least you admit it. So
It's not hate. As
no,
Oscar
you're
said,
sure.
it's not hate
See,
if
when
it's
you
the
say stuff like
facts.
that, you are professionally hating because you don't want to deny it. You're denying you're hating.
I'm
But it's
not.
okay. It's okay.
Is he not a big talker? Is he not a big
It's
tweeter?
perfectly fine to be a hater. I hate
It
on Tank.
is.
You hate on Shakur and Devin and Bud. And Phoenix the homie. Phoenix the homie.
Yep.
So I know he hates.
So bringing up the context of
No.
why
Don't try.
bringing up
No.
historical context is hate now?
Historical contest. Dude, you're a hater. It's
How
okay.
is it? If I'm bringing up the
It's
facts.
okay.
If
It's
Oscar
okay.
says it's not hate if it's the
Come
facts, then how am I
on.
wrong?
Just let it go. It's okay to hate.
Hey. Okay. I
Just
got
let the
some hate.
hate
This
come.
is for
Just
Devin
let the
though.
hate
This for
come out your
Devin though.
heart. Just let it come out.
Yo, yeah. I'm about to show you. So you
Here we
know how
go.
Turkey over there paying people in crypto, right? Guess who's the next big crypto star? Devin Haney. He put out a tweet last night supporting this fugazi cryptocurrency. And so this dude out here, he's like, man, I can't get no more paydays. Ryan messed up because he lost the Rolly. Nobody want to see me fight. I can't get another title shot. My daddy still won't stop talking. What can I do? Cryptocurrency. Now you remember all them other celebrities who done got busted and sued for having fugazi cryptocurrency out there that people done got scammed and bought into? Hey, that's about to be Devin Haney next. And now he gonna be on the opposite side of suing, and then he gonna be broke. Ain't nobody talking to this man about financial literacy. He out there wasting his money. And then the next time
Spending
you gonna
million
see him,
dollars.
Hey,
Yeah. Like
I'm
I
about to
want
get
him on
off.
the screen. I gotta join that hate.
I'm about to get off real quick, but I just want to
Okay.
say something. You guys, it's cool. I'm just up here talking shit. But Fanon knows when I used to sit up here and talk about Bill Haney lying all the time, you guys
He
weren't saying
does.
nothing. I came out with a super chat every single day talking about how Devin is the greatest man on planet Earth. He can do all these different things. And Fanon, remember those
Yes, I
those
do.
So
I remember
you
those.
guys,
I remember those.
it just changed. So you guys just started hating on Shakur. So and you got to take a maniac. So I just had to change my roll up to go to take a maniacs. But it's all good. All right, you guys take care. Love you both, all you guys. Actually,
All right, y'all. Much love, brother. Get back, Big Dog Willie.
So we're
Hey,
just
y'all.
balancing it out. We're balancing it out because they tag team on Gervonta Tank Davis, corporate media, and the pack of hyenas, the Spirit Squad, whatever the hell they're called. Keyshawn, Shakur, and Bud hate on Tank, and they team up. So if anything, our voices are muted compared to the corporate media and those guys. So you guys want to have your cake and eat it too. I will get off here. I got to go pretty soon, Fanon. Did you check out the Edwin De Los Santos interview on Mill City? He said exactly what I said. He said Keyshawn did all those antics to duck him. Did you catch that interview?
No, I haven't, but I'll watch it today.
And can you do a video on it?
Yes.
Not
Yes.
enough people are
That's
talking
right.
about Keyshawn Davis ducking Edwin De Los Santos. With that, I'm out. Deuces.
Yes, sir. Oh, I did a video today about that. I actually have a video up about that, about him ducking to Edwin De Los Santos and him doing that shit on purpose. Yeah, I did a video. It'll be up today. I already did it today.
Okay.
So what's on your mind, Phoenix? I'm about to roll up out of here, man.
Yeah.
You got
Okay.
anything else?
I'll leave you one more piece of hate before I go ahead and roll out. But
Thank you.
yeah. There's one more thing. So I saw this interview with Temurifu Lopez, and he said something that really resonated. I know he say a lot of bullshit, but like this particular thing that he said, I think I got to agree with. He said, "Fuck the Haneys."
Fuck the Haneys. I'm with that. All right, bro. Let me get up out of here, man. Much love to you, brother. Thank you for helping me out today, man. And I'm gonna, so you know, I'm gonna start the
Show, man.
panel,
Take it easy.
and I'm gonna start panels pretty much as soon as I go on from now on. So I'm not. I usually waited an hour. I'm not gonna wait.
Okay.
So yeah, we can jump on from the beginning, man.
That's what's up.
All right, bro. I'll get back with you, man. Get back.
All right, peace.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. Holler at y'all. Shout out to Najee for boxing from Cigar Talk for starting the conversation. I really enjoyed it. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.